Gentlemen, lovely to see you again. It's been too long between drinks. Hi, Matt.
Hello, sir.
Hello, Shimon.
Hello, all.
Right, so really important news, and today I want to hand over to Matt, who had 5 minutes on this Joe Peters show to deliver some earth-shattering news, and he needs a bit longer than that. And as always, he's impeccably prepared. So I'd like to hand it over to Matt to give us the full 1 hour presentation. We'll all get up. I've got plenty of disk space. We're not going to run into trouble. So you can take as long as you like, Matt, because this is really exciting stuff.
I don't know that any of that is fully true, but I will try my best.
It's all true. It's all true.
So I prepared a bunch of stuff for Stu Peters. It turned out to be about 5 minutes long, but we got the message out. There's crap, meaning self-assembling nanotechnology within some of the anesthetics for dentistry that I've taken a look at. And I was hesitant because I didn't have anyone verifying it. I had a neighbor actually do it finally and grow a chip himself through a couple of ribbons. So at least I have that. And between you two, I think we can probably do it again. But on the Stu show, he made a really good point, which is dentists, dental hygienists, get a microscope, get some of these products and go do this research. Go and verify or disprove what Matt has said. And I'm glad he said that. So despite not being able to go through a bunch of content, which is always the case in Stu's show anyway, it's just sort of a soundbite central. But damn it, he's just so good at pulling out the essence of everything. He just seems good at it. And so I think we got the essence out there. But in the meantime, and I'm only operating off of one screen.
Did you also discuss your previous dental anesthetic findings?
No, I mentioned that I had put it out on Maria Z to kind of be a teaser, and then I hadn't had any verification, so I kept doing it. I think that's all I said. This is live on the microscope right now, by the way.
Excellent.
So this is actually a pretty good one. What's neat about this one is it hasn't disappeared. So it could very well be that they've hardened off the technology.
So you're not currently frying yourself with EMF. You've got zero reading on your trimeter. Is that the story?
Yes, 0.003.
Fantastic. And when you've done that in the past, your chips have dissolved, but this one hasn't.
Yeah, this one is enduring. So maybe they figured out something.
Right, that's concerning.
This was cooking for a long time too, but it's degraded, and you can see over the last 24 hours that it's really kind of just slumped. But it hasn't degraded. But I have a video of one degrading really, really rapidly. That's pretty interesting. There's just some of the components. There's the typical stuff. There's the typical donuts. There's traces.
Yeah, it's so familiar, isn't it?
What objective is this?
This is I like how it has these collars on it so you can spin it. So this is the 10X.
Okay.
So is that yellow? Is that the yellow one?
Yes, it is yellow. Oh, thank you, Olympus. Yeah. So this is slumped and it's degraded a little bit, but this is basically 2 days old in the same format. And this black thing that's on the top, I'll go get my LED flashlight and shine it up. I don't think this is actually black. I think it's just opaque. But this actually, it looked like this before. This was about probably 8 hours ago. And it started to have this pool around it when it warmed up. And then the pool kind of changed, but you can see some of the components sort of drifting. And then this thing started to crawl over it. And that's where we're still now. But it's a weird thing. It's almost like a shadow because when you try to bring it into focus, it just goes away. So it's a weird thing.
Isn't it some kind of pyramid structure?
This one, it has levels, that's for sure, because you can see it
Yeah.
drop off. Like when I roll down, let's see here. When I roll down here, this little section is almost independent from this other one that's up here with this big cliff, basically, right here. And you can see the difference in heights when I scroll through the focus.
Right, but
And this one.
the whiter areas seem to be roughly the same level.
Yeah, this looks like it's continuous here, doesn't it?
Yes. And when this is in focus, so is this more or less. So these are the same level, basically.
And then what about up here?
And then this looks like a pyramid or a cliff or something, and then it either climbs up or goes down, and then there are more components on top of it.
Yeah, and that you can, and it's really prominent. Sorry, guys, I've been up all night, so I can't put my words together very well. But look at the difference in focus here. So this level up here where you can start to make out the components versus down here that's completely out of focus.
Right.
What do you make of that long channel that's now in the middle? Yeah. Yep.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't, this next step, this is the 40x objective. Wait till you see how awful this is, but we can try it. It doesn't do well with, well, it doesn't do well with thick samples anyway, but it doesn't do great.
It's not so bad. It just it's more particular about the focus.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Oh, don't spaz, Taylor. Let's do it. All right. Yeah, can't really make it out, David. But it's reminiscent of how can I do this? Yeah. You guys are in my way. There we go. It's reminiscent of the details. So these are some of the details of one of the chips I grew out of the anesthetic. This is really convoluted. That's actually a donut.
We can't see it at the moment, Matt. You'll have to share and reshare.
Let's see here.
I mean, cancel and reshare. Yeah.
Got it. I'm on it. One moment.
Cool.
It says I'm sharing. Oh, your screen sharing is.
We've got the last one.
Resume share. There we go. Let me there.
No, we're still seeing the old one.
The microscope?
Yeah, down the microscope. Yeah.
Just stop sharing and reshare.
Okay. I better get to the right screen. Okay. Zoom. You guys are better at this than me. How about that?
Wow.
Looks great.
So that's a donut. It's out of focus. It was
so this structure, you've blown this one up, yeah?
Yeah, this is the 40x. So and this is a well right here, and this is reminiscent of what we saw before, which are all the different what look like conductors, and then these kind of cascading down.
Wait a second, is this a 40x without stitching?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
This was a neat one because it was so planar And it was so even that it was pretty easy to do tours of it. This is the edge. There's a better picture of the donut.
Donuts. What do you make of the ones that are not black? Yeah,
These ones.
yeah.
No, and I tried to watch them moving around and they didn't do much, but these little guys sure do. They cruise all over the place. They go back and forth like a ping pong
Yeah.
ball. There's another one, but this I was trying to get the intricacy of this piece, but you can. It just looks like traces, and I know that when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. But damn it, why else would those be there? I don't understand. There's some more components.
Yeah. Well, go back to the last one, could you? Yeah. That's the one with the big donut at the bottom that's looks like it's emptying its contents.
Yes. Let me see if I can zoom in. Zooming is not friendly to a bad objective. This one trips me out. So that looks like a cable bundle. And then that looks like multiple connections to different traces.
Yeah, that can you zoom in on that or not?
It's going to be ugly.
Not that ugly. It's outrageous.
It almost looks like the bridge of a guitar. Yeah, but this part up here, I can't figure out what's happening here.
Or a really skinny person with multiple fingers strumming.
There you go. Hey, are you skinny shaming, David?
I'm skinny shaming, yeah.
This one is my favorite. So this one shows the individual lines coming out and then joining this really bizarre structure. Here's another one that attaches here and goes off. Another one here, whoop, goes off. And then this is actually a ribbon coming into it. And then there are some of the Janowitz bubbles.
Yeah, I wonder what they're doing there.
But you can really see the shadow. So that has dimension to it. I think it's pretty good relief. Here's the one I can't figure out, guys. So this is a chip that was partially formed. I decided to see if it could go away. I turned off the router and started cleaning my house. And you guys do this too, where you just glance back at it every once in a while to see if anything's happening. I glanced back.
I'm glad you qualified that because I thought you were referring to cleaning the house. That's right. Keep going.
No, I've heard of it being done. Okay, we'll go back and see that. But there's an explosion on this corner. I'm moving your icons. It feels so abusive to do that to you. All right. So I'm going to restart this. Let's see. So now, watch this corner over here. It starts to dissolve, and David noticed that there's this big border all the way around it, kind of like the chip proper, basically. And then this corner just all of a sudden blows out. I'll just let it do it. And it's literally an explosive event.
Are you going back and forth? Okay.
There it goes.
Yeah.
And you guys tell me what you see, but there are just convective currents everywhere. And it'll zoom in a second, but you can see that there's just so the chip was here. It degraded down to this plus this upper part. And then watch these vortices.
And this is with the router turned off?
Yes. And the only thing burning in the house was my laptop screen, which is LCD, and then the 4-watt light that's underneath my microscope. That was the only possible energy input to this whole situation.
No, I think this is just a flow of energy that's, sorry, a flow of material that's creating these whirlpools. So material is clearly spilling from here to, and from here.
And see how there's those lines you just drew. Those are definite lines.
Yeah. And do you see material crawling downwards here towards the whirlpool?
You can see some of the bubbles get captured. There's going to be a piece. I think it's. Do you remember where it was? I think it's this guy.
Yeah.
So he takes off, goes and grabs some groceries, and comes back. So you'll see him here in a second return. So off he goes. And it reminds me of somebody who was kind of in a rush and forgot something and had to run back to the house. So you'll see it here in a second. Whoa!
Yeah.
He just comes back.
So all those small spheres that we've got see floating around, they remind me of the magnetic spheres that I saw when I was playing with magnets in the vaccine.
I'll be darned.
They look exactly the same.
So,
See,
Matt, is that the video that I already saw, and I commented that you captured the hydrogel in Brightfield?
yes. We didn't go through it in much detail, but I'm just letting it run. So this is real time.
Look how those three are stuck together.
Yep.
And the smaller one was absorbed. Well, yeah, see that? It's just popped into each other.
Right there, it looked like someone was pulling taffy. But you know how it is when you see something happening really quickly and you try to run around to make sure you're not missing much. So I didn't stick in one spot, but that's just the way it goes. I'll try to read.
And then when you re-look at it, you sort of want to be able to examine all bits.
Yeah, like go back, you jackass! You're missing the cool part.
Mm.
No, I think the lower magnification actually captures the process better. You see everything all at once.
Wow. Well done, Matt. That's
Interesting, yeah.
yeah, and maybe it's because when I turn off obvious things, I've still got quite a lot of EMF in my environment, but I never get the dissolution or dissolving like you do when I turn the EMF off. I guess it's because there's so much background EMF, maybe.
Yeah, complete absence definitely does wonders.
I think that it's probably because Matt is just placing the antenna right underneath the slide.
Yeah, I definitely bookend it. Like it goes from 160 kilometers an hour down to 0 in a hurry. So it's a little bit of a shock. I'm also seeing a little bit of this is a little bit more unique I think they're getting better at the technology because these things grow in a heartbeat.
What are these?
So this is fresh out of the vial, and it immediately started to do this sweating, like this condensing. I didn't spread it out and I didn't use a cover slip, but it immediately started making these filaments, and then
When you say immediately, like within minutes.
yes, from the time that I adjusted the focus and got the drop centered and all that jazz, it started doing that, and then it makes these
Wow,
blisters.
yeah, look at those bottom ones. They look just like the microbots. Well, things I've called the microbots, and the ones with the lines through them.
In here.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that one. Yeah, the ones at the bottom. I mean, I've got loads of that sort of thing. Yeah, that's wild.
On Zoom, do you know how? Oh, never mind. I just made you go away. I can't get to the controls with all these other controls here.
what are you trying to do, sorry?
I'm trying to deal with one little screen. I think that's my problem. Okay, here we go. I'm moving you around. So now I can't see your pretty faces. So what I was going to go through Stu, is that when
but
everybody,
this is sorry, go on.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is very interesting. I see different types of hydrogels. Can you zoom out? So can you zoom out? Okay, so this is one type of hydrogel here, right? And this is a second type of hydrogel, and these either coalesce or it's a third type of hydrogel.
I think they coalesce
Could be.
because look at that.
So what's the time frame there, Matt?
Let's see. Probably have. So this was 9:15 and 32. And this one was 9:15 and 31.
You're saying it was a second before?
Oh no, here we go. Created. 8:52. Sorry, screwed that up. 8:52 to 8:54. 2 minutes.
And what about in number 3? What's the time on that?
I think this might be a different area of the slide.
Oh, okay.
8:53.
Right. So it's very fast.
Oh, come on. There we go. So when I was doing this, my plan on Stu was to say that when you get your microscope and you get an injection and you start to look at it, you might see something forming like this. And this is when you start paying attention. Because when there's a quick change, you know that either these bubbles are going to start to come together or these ribbons are going to start to form. So when you see something organized, that's when you start paying attention. And then you'll see these forms starting, these starting to coalesce. And as soon as you see anything different from a bubble, then you know that something's happening. So I was just going to let people anticipate what they might see when they start to look at this stuff. I'm basically trying to psych people up to go get a friggin' microscope and help us out.
I've had quite a few people email me via the website, Matt. I've done my best to answer them all. But I think we do probably need to run some, some tutorials or some
This looks a lot like some of your initial investigations of the vaxes, right?
What's the difference between this image and the previous one?
This is just a different one. So this was supposed to be in different parts of the shot. When you look, you're going to see a bunch of garbage, but you can start to see threads appear.
Why is this one a lot less contrasty?
Oh, don't know. Different light level, different part of the slide.
Can you get back to the previous one? Something, yeah. This is almost a little bit of dark field. Something happened with the lighting here.
Yeah, I don't change my light levels because I can't. So it's got to be a focal length or a whichever objective I'm using. And then these start to form. I wanted to show them to watch out for these, and especially the segments starting to come together.
Is this like your previous anesthetic images?
Yes.
Okay, so there are these filaments inside forming also, right?
Yep. And this isn't as good, but this looks exactly like what La Quinta Columna put out. They're almost identical. And then this is interesting because that's a ribbon, and then it has these puddles. So this is what those, like you said there was 3 different kinds of hydrogel. These dimples sort of disappeared for a while, and then it started to pool, but the only big pools were coincident with ribbons. And then up here, this big blob, that's where that great big chip eventually formed. So if you were to go another couple of laptop screens north of here, that would be where that great big chip formed. But this was a ribbon that came from that chip, or in this case, this big pool. And then, so this started, these 2 started, and then that's a little bud that's coming out of the side right here. And this end is really gross. So then moments later, it starts getting acne. And then it gets worse. And after quite a while, these started to form. And then we have this. And then much later, we have that.
Is the ribbon at the bottom, or?
This is just a different chip. So it takes a long time to get from this format to this.
What are you talking, a day or 2?
No, like an hour and a half.
Ah, okay, no alarm at all. That's fast. That's really fast.
But then this one goes through the same kind of weird adolescent changes. So this is, you can see some pock marks here. This is actually a donut that's out of focus. And then these little bits and pieces around it. So it grows. So that's kind of the point here, is just watch an edge and you can see it grow.
Yeah, that top corner. Wow. Do that again. Go back again. Yeah.
Yeah, here it was folded over. It was like dog-eared. And then there.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated with the field around here that's changing dramatically as well. So I don't know if it's pulling material and we can't see it. It's got to be, though.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what is pulling material?
It's growing, so it has to be pulling material from somewhere. I just couldn't capture it. I was going to video, like I wanted to see the material entering, and I could never really see it.
So
Yeah,
so
because it's small hydrogel, and in bright field it's not all that visible, but you did capture the disassembly very well. The way it's pulling out all the material.
That was disgusting. See, now it gets all these bubbles again. So partway through it's growing, and it really nicely scored off this edge where it was jagged before. And all these bubbles started to form. I thought it was going to start disassembling while the router was on, so I was a little bit panicked. But it just kept going.
Yeah, the bubbles. If this interpretation is correct, the bubbles are hydrogels that keep bringing in more material for the assembly.
Yeah, and you can, as it builds, you can see those things start to deplete. They start to deflate. So that's pretty interesting as well.
Very interesting. I love the way the bubbles magnify the structures underneath.
That's neat too, because you can kind of tell that it's a liquid rather than an air bubble.
Yeah.
And then I have a bunch of other trippy videos where these whole chips are starting to migrate across the slide, and all kinds of interesting dynamic things are happening. So that's the story of that.
Wow. Okay, so the vials of local anesthetic that you found this tech in, they're the new ones with the expiry dates next year. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, I have the file here somewhere. I can go grab it, but it was, I think it was 2024, and the name of the manufacturer is ZEYCO, Zebra Echo Yankee Co. And it's a Mexico outfit, but I'm sure they get all their inputs from China.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got some to look at, which I'll be setting up shortly. So we should be, hopefully we'll be able to compare notes next week.
Well, what are your expiration dates on the ones you got?
March 24, July 24, and one that's just expired.
Oh, good. Good.
So that should serve to be interesting. So I'll run them simultaneously. Yeah, we'll be able to hop from microscope to microscope. And I'll record it all, and hopefully we'll see something.
And I have all these. So these are expire 2019.
Right, so they're worth about $100 each. Index to the gold price.
What is that?
Well, you'll be able to eat for a while.
I have 100 vials.
Right.
Well, 98. I gave 2 away to somebody who needs to get a tooth pulled.
Yeah.
It's cool though. We're the retired dentist who let me buy these from her. We're donating all the money to helping the indigenous get dental work done.
Excellent.
Because they
who would have thought that expired local anesthetic would have a street value?
Yeah. It's not an expired Twinkie. Probably has the same shelf life.
Probably. Right. Okay. Well, I shall stop this recording, and we shall catch up on this topic next week. See you guys.
Welcome back. So Matt Taylor has become quite the fan favorite on this program as a hero who saw what was happening to America and used his own immense talents and hard work to escape and build a new life for himself abroad. Matt has 2 master's degrees in energy systems engineering and in architecture. He now lives in Ecuador, where he's built his own off-the-grid organic farm. It's fossil fuel free, cell phone free. It has its own water source. It generates its own independent electricity. Awesome. The envy of most of us at this point. Well, we started talking to Matt on this show during the rollout of the COVID shots after he got his hands on some of the vials of those vaccines, mixed them with his own blood, and then put them under a microscope. Wasn't exactly sure what he saw, but he knew that it was bad news. And since then, Matt has also conducted independent research on 5G and what it does to our bodies. Well, now Matt has a new project. In the past several months, Matt has collected a large number of samples of dental anesthetics, the kind used while filling a cavity or performing a root canal. He started to look at those under a microscope, And once again, what he's discovering is shocking him. According to Matt, the exact same nanotech that he observed in these vaccines is also showing up in dental anesthetics. Now, you might be thinking, oh, he's just seeing the same thing no matter what he puts under a microscope, but that's not the case. Matt says that he tested anesthetics from 2019, pre-COVID, and didn't find any suspected nanotech in them. We want to hear a lot more about that. To that end, Matt Taylor joins us now. Matt, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you being here.
Always here for you, Stu. Glad to be here.
Take us through your findings here.
Time is limited, so I'll be brief, but I'm finding the same stuff in different products. The news has been going around that it's in everything. We've been hearing that all over the place.
Yeah,
right?
we've been hearing that it's in the skies, in our chemtrails, it's in our food, it's in our plants, it's in the water. It's everywhere.
That's all true. And the disappointing part for me is that all of us who have stayed away from these shots, now they're putting in other products that we can't avoid. So I'm late in coming to this information because I want very much to not instill panic, but I don't know what else to do. And some days, Stu, I'm going to come on your show and give you really good news that this is not one of those days.
Man.
I started looking selfishly at anesthetics because I was concerned, and I found some weird stuff, nothing huge. So I asked a local dentist if she could hook me up with some old anesthetics, and I compared those two. The old stuff didn't have it in it. The new stuff did. And then once I put that out on Maria Z, then I got a lot of inquiries from the people here. I live in a very, very unvaccinated community. And so they wanted me to start to look at this stuff. And so I did, and it keeps getting worse is the problem. The latest ones that I've seen, the ones with the latest expiration date, are much more active, same technology, different rapidity in their formations, all these things. So the answer is yes, they're putting it in absolutely everything, and the injections are especially problematic because it goes straight to the bloodstream.
So you're saying that there's nanotechnology. You can see the same self-assembling circuitry that you found in the vials of these bioweapon injections that were referred to as safe and effective vaccines, and by places like the BBC are still being pushed onto people as they intentionally murder people. That same technology is what you're finding in these dental products that you're talking about, specifically the anesthesia that's required for a root canal or a cavity fill.
That's right. And I'm assuming for outpatient surgery and those kinds of things as well.
Okay. Well, I mean, so how to not cause panic and concern with reporting that, I don't know. But, you know, this is Matt Taylor testing this stuff. And I think right now, basically, the call would be for dentists, doctors in the dental field, people with access to these, with access to a microscope, go look at it yourself. Try to discredit these claims. Try to see if this is something that's widespread or if it's just localized in Ecuador, which I don't think that there's any reason to believe that's the case. And see how far widespread this is. And then if you are a doctor at a dental facility, if you are a dentist or a dental hygienist or a technician, and you look at these and you find this, are you willing to report it? Are you willing to ask the questions? Why is there self-assembling nanotechnology in the anesthesia that we use in our patients? I mean, I think that's a good place to start. Do you agree?
It's just anesthetic. So why the hell is this stuff in here? But luckily, we're out of excuses. So if it's illegal to look at the vaxes, then fine. Now it's not. Anybody can get their hands on this, and please repeat my work. And so my approach on this is, there's only so much that I can do. I'm getting this verified by other microscopists because of your show and because of you hooking me up with other people. Other people are doing this. So this is an appeal to the microscope army to get out there, get a microscope, and get a router and start doing this.
Has anybody ever asked themselves the question, why would it be illegal to look at the contents of the Pfizer vials or the Moderna vials? Why would that be illegal to do? Can you explain that, Matt? We know why. We know the answer. That's a rhetorical question. We absolutely know why. It's illegal because they don't want you to find the self-assembling circuitry. They don't want you to see the nanotechnology. They don't want you to know about the bioweapon, the hydrogel, the pegylated lipid nanoparticles. They don't want you to know about the absence of mRNA while they've been gaslighting you and psyoping you into believing that these are mRNA technology invented by Dr. Robert Malone. They don't want you to see that the empire of lies has literally lied about every single aspect of what's inside of these vials, ultimately in syringes, and then going into the arms of your children. That is causing people to die suddenly all over the planet. They don't want you to know what's in the anesthetics that's being used at your your dental office. They don't want you to know what's in the lettuce that they're spraying and what they're growing in these fake meat laboratories. They don't want you to know that it's in your food, in the sky, in your aerosol sprays, and everywhere else virtually in every other aspect of your life. They want you encoded with this nanotechnology, and they're going to do it by any means necessary. They will not stop unless they are stopped. Matt Taylor, thank you so much for your findings and for being here. We appreciate it. God bless you.